Ready. Check Monday, Wednesday, Friday, yeah, you know it's a go. Okay, I see they going off, but we gon' rewrite it though. That's right, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, yeah, you know it's a go. Okay, I see they going off, but we gon' rewrite it though. That's right, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, yeah, you know it's a go. Okay, I see they going off, but we gon' rewrite it though. I said Monday, Wednesday, Friday, yeah, you know it's a go. Okay, I see they going off, but we gon' rewrite it though.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Rewriters Room. We are the men with the pen. It's the boy Armon, leader of All My Niggas Hate Carry On Crosshive, leader of Donda is okay, but it's more so fuck that nigga Kanye Hive, leader of many different hives, but I'm here with my guys. It's a beautiful, beautiful Sunday, not to date this episode, but blessed to be here. Looking forward to a fun wrestling conversation. CC, how you feeling, bro?
Oh man, I'm chilling like a motherfucking villain. What's good, y'all boys? It's CC, the best rapper and producer in the whole wide world. God body, because I consume healthy products and do sound curls. Benevolent servant to the earth, the philanthropist, and every praise I say is legit. My amethyst. You could put any nigga next to me, dope ass women, right over there, gonna look right over here and be like, girl, who man is this? Hey, I may talk a lot, only got one thing to say. Love yourself, keep going. You are the world, give all you can, take care of your body, your people, and your land. Where my motherfucking man, Greg, Chad.
We're here. Walter, Imperium, Brigade. Walter stateside, people. That means one thing only. Walter is your next NXT champion. I know we've been waiting for it. I know it's been a long time coming. I know you guys are worried, like Imperium's here, but Walter's not. But he's here now. So Walter's taking care of it. He's going to take the belt off Cross, quick and easy. Off Joe, sorry. Quick and easy, no problems. And then we'll finally have a true champion, a champion that people can get behind, someone the kids can look up to. So I'm excited. I mean, it was a big win for us last week, a bigger win coming up soon. Mm-hmm. Just know you heard it here first.
Word. Talk about it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are also blessed with the presence of one half of the War Report. We have the man, the comeback spot, aka All Elite Quan, aka Quan here. Quan, how you feeling, bro?
What's up, guys? I'm happy to be here. Let's have a good podcast. That's all.
Yes, sir. We are
the best intro.
You're right. Just a real chill, real simple.
That was the best one.
I was trying to get something creative, and I was just like, you know what? Nah.
I love it.
It's funny because that's what they do going into Raw. They're like, I could do creative, but like,
nah. What a rematch.
Let's give you another Damian Priest, John Morrison match.
I want the Marco.
Of course, we got to plug our Patreon. You can hit up Patreon / the A Show RNC for bonus A Show content, bonus War Report content, bonus Rewriters Room content, spot callers, everything we got for you. You can join for as little as $3, I believe, or you could pay the $50 and be a Hall of Famer and get a guaranteed spot on one of these shows. And hey, you could end up choosing the Rewriters Room, and we would love to have you. But make sure you subscribe to that Patreon. Now, for our pre-write, there is a lot to discuss. A lot has happened over the last 3 weeks. We've had CM Punk's debut, SummerSlam, NXT TakeOver, the Raw after SummerSlam, and there's been another week of CM Punk and Raw. So some things might be a little outdated, but we're going to dabble in all of it, just give some quick hits on it and have some discussions on it. So I want to start with you, Chan, because you got something very interesting written here. So yeah, please kick us off in our pre-write.
I guess I'll just start similar to what I know how, just as I can phrase it the way it was phrased to me. So you'd like to talk to your kids about Cameron Grimes. You're feeling excited, you're feeling that sensation, that unease, but you don't want to like give them too much information because it hasn't happened yet. But you do want to kind of let them know what's coming. And so what I'll say is this: you're looking at a future mid-card legend. As the intrepid mid-card reporter, you're looking at someone in Cameron Grimes who's definitely going to be a 5+ time tag team champion with whoever the equivalent of the Big Show is. That's coming. You're looking for a multiple time Money in the Bank match participant. maybe even a one-time winner. You're looking at a six-pack challenge veteran, just every IC title, multi-man, 5, 4, 3. Cameron Grimes will have him underneath his belt. And I'm, for one, I'm excited. I love someone who's purely like character over. I love someone who truly just commits to the bit. And I think that's something we should recognize now. And I think it's time for us to really give him the credit he deserves. Moveset is insane. Like, finisher is nice. That like crossbody spinning, whatever the fuck you call it, is wild. I think he's like pretty good on the mic. He's got a good gimmick that he's had to pivot at least once, showing he's versatile. I just think Cameron Grimes is everything. And I think, while I do think, TNA LA Knight is a bit beneath him, I am glad that he got like the pay-per-view shine, the pay-per-view win, got the fake belt. But who hasn't gotten some fake off before, in honor of a flex. So, I'm happy for Cameron Grimes. I think at this point, he probably won't get the NXT championship, so send him to the main roster, let him feud with The Miz, let him feud with, I don't fucking know, Nikki Cross. Just give him, some Chad Gable, Otis matches, Street Profits segments. I just think you got everything there. I think you have a ready-made mid-card. He'll be in all those stupid WWE commercials. They'll do little smart spots for Snickers and, Stinger energy drink. Shout out to my real SmackDown fans, Stinger, who was watching Sunday Night Heat. I remember y'all. But yeah, I'm just really excited for Cameron Grimes. I think he's up next.
What's cool about Cameron Grimes too? Cameron Grimes' character work is so good, you forget he's a good wrestler. Like, because usually it's like one or the other. Either you're like a really good wrestler, you don't have much personality, or you have all the personality and you're just like you're a wrestler who gets by, like Miz, right, or like a MJF or something like that. And then you got a guy like Cameron Grimes who's like, he's fantastic on the mic. He's so good, you almost forget like he's also that dude can wrestle his ass off.
Busy, yeah.
He gets busy, exactly. I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, I think he has a lot of longevity. If he stays healthy and stays out of trouble, don't do no stupid shit. I can see him. I feel I'm right with you. Mid-card legend.
Mid-card legend. It's coming.
Interesting. Okay. It sounded slanderous to an extent, Chan. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it sounded like there was a little slander in there. Just a little.
I love
bit.
the mid-card. What are you talking about? Dolph Ziggler's my favorite wrestler. What are you talking about? That's the highest praise I can give someone.
But it's like, to relegate someone to the mid-card makes it sound like you don't think they have upper.
No. Well, no. Here's the thing. There's some people who are always in the championship picture that do not have what it takes to get across that character work and the stuff that it takes to get across stuff in the mid-card. So while they're at the championship level, I look at it more as like just this area over here rather than higher, because a lot of them can do what the championship guys can do, but there's a lot of championship guys who can't do what they do. Like, Bobby Lashley can't come in and do fucking character work.
Yeah.
No.
That's not going to happen.
Leave them sisters alone. Leave that alone. Man.
Like, you got to, like, there's certain skills that they have, which is why I like somebody like The Miz. It's just like, you could put a mic in that motherfucker's hand, and as long as it's 2 other ears that's other than his ears, that motherfucker going to have that other motherfucker brain work. Like, that's how it's going to go. Like, he can talk your ass off. You know how to do it. And it's just certain skills like that. So I see what you, like, the whole time, Jenny, I see what you're saying. It's funny because the very first time I saw him and his character, and I was like, that motherfucker's not going past the mid-card or whatever. But I watched him a couple times after that, and I was like, oh, so when you said what you just said, I was like, okay, that validated what I thought, which was just like, oh, this nigga would run the mid-card. Like, he would be one of those characters. He's going to be one of those. It's funny that you say you want to talk to your kids about Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes is going to be one of those characters that all the kids remember from when they were younger, and they still know him, and talk about him. Like how we talk about like Jeff Hardy and shit, how we say like niggas just know Jeff Hardy. That nigga could be like that. Not like to the level, but like just how you just know him amongst the people who watch. Yeah.
That's a really good parallel to draw, and that makes it sound a little better for me. Okay.
Yeah, his thing of being a mid-carder is not based off his talent, it's just based off his physical profile and who Vince makes main eventers. Like, it's not if he was, 6'5", 250, he would be a main. But Vince is not gonna leave, the Universal title on Cameron Grimes for a year. That's just never gonna happen. Like, while I would love to see that, that's never gonna happen. Like, he'll get a run with the title, like Chris Jericho. He'll pop up and then bubble up, but then bubble back down, bubble up, bubble back down. But yeah, I just don't think he has the physical stature that Mitch is going to leave a belt.
Yep. You know who he is? He's Sami Zayn. It's just Sami Zayn
exactly.
all over.
Exactly.
That's exactly who he is. You just Sami Zayn.
Exactly.
That's a great parallel.
And I fucking love
Sami Zayn.
Because I was gonna say, because I think we would all love to see Sami Zayn beat WWE champion, but it'll be like, it's kind of like it's a dream, but when it happens, like
I want to see him win it, but not beat it. Like I just need him to win it, and then he can just lose it right afterward. I don't care.
Okay. You know what? I'm starting to vibe with this a little more.
But you know what's crazy though? Now I want to see Cameron Grimes and Sami Zayn.
That would be a great,
great
feud.
That
would be such a great feud. Oh my!
Have they wrestled each other before? They must have, like, outside of WWE.
Probably
independent. I'm sure.
Probably at some point. But Quan, for you, of everything that's happened the last 3 weeks, what's the one thing that's like on your mind that you would want to talk about and bring to the show and bring your opinion on, and like you being the AEW guy, what's on your mind, man?
I don't want to talk about AEW. I'm more so NXT. I think y'all gotta relax and breathe for a second. People are making a lot of assumptions based off shit we don't even know. You wasn't at the meeting. People are saying Triple H has no control, and this is all Nick Khan and Vince McMahon taking over NXT, which is, it's cap. They have it in like. This is like Nick Khan straight up said, this is Triple H's vision. This is what he wants to do. I think people just got to slow down. People are already talking about this brand is dead. Like, yo, chill, man. This isn't the first time NXT's had a fucking a reboot. You know what I mean? Like, give it a second. You like, look at what NXT had done for y'all for what? Damn near 8 years now. Like, you gonna turn your back now?
Yeah.
Just because they don't want to sign, Effie, or they don't want to fucking sign, whatever dork off the indies who had no personality, just because he can wrestle good, like Wheeler Yuta or some shit like that. Like, I don't know.
I was thinking about this too, and I meant to tweet this earlier today, but I love how like the basis of Triple H doesn't like this is purely because it's like more black. It's like, oh, Triple H doesn't like rap music. It's like, how the fuck do you know Triple H doesn't like rap music?
You don't know
like,
that, man, bro.
Like, it's nothing based off like he said. It's purely off. Oh, this is like too urban. The last logo was black and gold and had. It's like Triple H. He had DX. You heard DX's intro music. Like, what are you talking about? Like, Triple H likes black people shit. It's like you don't know him.
Like
he's on Wale's mixtape, bro. Like, he's on the mixtape.
Like, we know firsthand. J5 has told us. Triple H asked for Wale to be there, for Street Profits. Like Triple H requests Wale's presence for certain things. So it's like to say Triple H is out of touch or doesn't want these things. It's like and the whole hashtag knowing Vince, where people think they know what Vince wants. It's the funniest shit in the world.
Triple H isn't a bigot. He just like you just not only you just don't like it, but like, don't make Triple H a bigot because you don't like the logo.
People just be projecting this shit on these people that they don't know. Like it's fascinating. It's fascinating. But Quan, I 100% agree with you. We talked about this on our last episode. Like, people are so just like
they're horny for NXT to fail for some reason.
Yeah, and it's like, bro, you got to look at the material. Look at what they've given us, and look at what they have right now.
Bro, they gave us a banger literally this on Sunday. They literally just gave us a
banger. To me, Takeover was better than SummerSlam. I hope that's not a hot take.
Yeah,
that's usually how that goes. That's like 90% of it. Whenever they're compared, that's usually how
Takeover was like. To SummerSlam, I watched and I enjoyed, and like I fell asleep midway through, so I had to watch it like the next day. But Takeover, I was locked in the entire time.
And it's simply not as long. It's just not 4 hours long, too. Like it's just at a certain point.
Right. Of course, like there's certain things that works in NXT's favor, but like match quality, drama, just like I was like, yo, this shit is what did like it was crack. So. I 100% agree with you, Quan. Like, people got to chill on this NXT shit. Like, NXT has been fine. They've lost incredible talents, and they've been fine, and they're going to be
turned out fine. This happens every couple of years with NXT. They lose a bunch of guys, and then they just build up some new guys. And I just want you. I don't know if y'all saw that video, the tryouts in Vegas, and all the people they signed. I just want y'all to notice how many black people they signed.
Hey,
I
don't
would
even
say
start
like
with that one.
50% of them were like black people. I'm letting y'all know now. I know people who listen to this podcast they already know, but like
Yeah.
WWE is about to get a lot blacker. I'm telling y'all this right now. In the next couple of years, you're gonna see it. It's gonna be a lot. They went the Rolling Loud. You know
It's
what I mean?
about money,
Yo,
bag
I was
talk,
like,
baby.
yo,
Bag talk.
what was that move about? When I saw that, I was like, what y'all niggas trying to do?
Some
You know what
bread.
they're
It's
trying to-
about
you know
making
what they're
some
trying to
bread.
do?
Oh, we know.
I see a market that's exploitable.
Nick
It's not
Khan
being
said-
catered to. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Look, Nick Khan saw what they were doing over in Jacksonville. He's like, look, they're clearly catering to a whole different fucking
Yep.
demographic over there. Why don't we fuck with women?
Yes.
They don't fuck with women over there.
Nope.
And why don't we get more POC? They don't fuck with POC over there. If they want that over there, they can have that. We're in 2021. We
Yes.
fucking with this now. There you go.
Simple as that.
That
Simple as
Layups.
CC,
That keeps you.
oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say the last note. I was gonna say that keeps you having good PR or whatever because you're the company that puts POC on now, whatever, regardless of the rest of the shit that you do.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
your image now.
Smart. So, CC, for you, you're pre-write. You've got something interesting written here as well. So I would love for you to on it.
Just like Chan, I'm gonna read the shit out how I wrote it, man. The three of you tried your hardest to carry the company through and post-pandemic. Through the pandemic and post-pandemic, you tried your hardest. And where did that lead you? Back to Becky Lynch, motherfucker. That was super dramatic, but I'm just saying that to say I'm not trying to shit on any of the horsewomen because obviously all legends in my eyes and shit like that. But there's a certain thing that was missing that Becky just has, like, and it was funny because when she turned it on, that's the reason why, like, that night when I saw her with the blood on her face, I was like, oh, she's the fuck out of here. Like, there's no way she's never going past this level ever again. Like, she's gone. Like, and what it was is just that, like, you gotta have somebody who's on that, like, I don't give a fuck, I'm just out here type of energy or whatever. Like, if you see it, like, KO kind of has that, but because it's just how shit goes or whatever, they don't see him having that on the superstar level. Becky has that shit on the superstar level or whatever. And if you look at the pandemic and what was happening is, like, you saw the three horsewomen, they were playing like characters, like they had to like go into one part of or at least go into one part of their personality, and that was the iteration of themselves or whatever. Whereas Becky is like kind of a breaking the fourth wall kind of character or whatever, whereas she doesn't really have like a gimmick or anything like that. She's just like, I want the championship, I'm gonna beat some ass or whatever, just kind of how like Stone Cold was or whatever, which is why they draw the comparison. And it's just like, it was, for me, I would say for me, it was getting stale. All the character work and all like the kind of storytelling or whatever. I kind of wanted to see somebody just come in and like just beat some ass or whatever. That's why I forgot which one of you guys said, it was probably both of you guys when we were talking about how she beat Bianca, but how that was like actually smart the way it was done. Because I thought that was the most important thing. It's just like you have to it were like, soon as I thought about it, I was like, oh no, this all makes sense. Because if you think about it, you have to think about who Becky Lynch's character is, like how she is or whatever. Just like this nigga's like Stone Cold. It's just like if she came to win the championship, she probably setting you up, my nigga. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she about to do something, whatever. So she boom, wham, bam, bang, got her or whatever. It's just like that fits with Becky's character and keeps her on top. And it doesn't really make Bianca look bad because it's more of a caught off guard, you're the rookie kind of situation. Yeah. So it's more about like experience than
let's be honest. I'm sorry to cut you off. Let's be honest.
No, go ahead.
Becky really got over because of that heel turn in 2018.
Absolutely.
She got over to the point where she was so popular that they had to babyface her. But throughout her run, her attitude, her being the man, that's heel as shit. So her, her year-long run, when Shayna came around and how cocky she was, like, she's always done, she's Stone Cold. She's the female Stone Cold. She says and does heel as shit, but she's so over that you have to babyface her. So her coming back after being away, 16 months and doing what she did to Bianca, it made perfect sense to me. Like, everyone's doing this racial angle shit. Oh, black people are being torn down. And look, I hate to see a black woman lose. Absolutely. I hate to see it. But when I think about what the story can be, and when I think about how Bianca can potentially overcome this, I'm excited for it. Like I'm like people are so precious with these wrestlers that they can't lose. Bianca was a dominant champion for what 6 months? She won in April. 4 months. 4 months. Like she was dominant. She beat Bailey. She beat Sasha for the title. She cooked Carmella, which we love. It's like she was really strong, and it's like I think we're so used to seeing these champions get long reigns that we're like, oh, when you don't get a long reign, they screwed you over. No, Drew, like you.
With the Rock.
Part of what we loved about Bianca was how her rise up to getting to the SmackDown Women's Champion. All those promos. Then she came on the show. She beat Bailey. She won the Royal Rumble. You love the chase. For those baby faces, you love the chase. Becky is the perfect heel for Bianca too, because Becky is arguably the biggest woman WWE has ever seen, and Bianca is the biggest woman right now, biggest Black woman right now, arguably the biggest woman. So putting those two against each other, they're perfect foils. They're perfect foils. So like, I'm not like a lot of people are upset about what happened to Bianca. I'm not. I'm really not. Like it sucked to see, but when I thought about what the storyline and the feud could be, if we get 3 months of this, that's must-see TV every week. Every single week. Between the promos, the matches, like it's must-see TV.
Yep. And I'm gonna take you even deeper. I'm gonna take you deeper than rap. Here's why it's even better, bro. You know, I need the Rick Ross. I'm gonna put the Rick Ross deeper on this shit after we do this. But bruh, think about what this does for Bianca's character now. Her character can grow because she just got beat by a surprise attack from a veteran, and she's the rookie, which means she now has to do what? Have you ever seen any movie where there's an older person and then there's a rookie? What always happens in the story? The rookie smartens up and learns how to do some dirty shit or like some cool shit. She's gonna get a new move set. She's gonna have new attitude and be able to talk a new way. Like, you gotta understand, this is doing so much for Bianca. This is why I said, where did it lead you? Back to me or whatever. Like, Sasha did a lot for Bianca. But when you look at it or whatever, what this Becky and Bianca thing is about to do or whatever is gonna be bigger, because Becky's character is, like you said, like she does heal his shit but gets over as a face or whatever, which means at the end of the day, it's kind of like her moves and how she wins is validated. And Bianca's going to pick up on that and be like, okay, I need to do some shit that's kind of blah, 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 blah. And and if you thought her moveset was fire now, wait till you see what she turns into after this shit. This is what I'm telling you. Like, we know what the fuck we talking about, bro. Like, I don't mean to brag or no shit like that, but it's just like niggas been watching this shit their whole lives, so we know what's right and what's not right. If WWE is going down the right path that all of us are kind of thinking right now, or whatever, this is one of those stories where it's just like, okay, so I'm gonna explain to you right now. I'm rewatching Raw right now. I just watched September 27, 1998, with the moment where The Rock gets that pop where you like, oh, this motherfucker's like a star. Like, you realize he's a star. And then the next week on Raw, him and Austin have that first moment where they look each other in the eyes. And Austin feels it so much, he kind of breaks character and smiles a little bit, but like turns it into his character smiling at The Rock. But you can tell that he broke for a little bit. And it's like, once you get that energy, that shit is crazy. This is that moment for Bianca. Like, y'all thought she was fucking over? Nah, nigga. This is like the moment where she becomes cemented. And like, she's always going to be like, when she said she wanted to be all for the horsewoman or whatever? Yeah. She going to beat her. It's because
she got 2 already.
Bro, she the 5th element, my nigga. That's what I'm saying.
And so this shows how much they trust Bianca too. To put her with Becky returning Becky, to put her with a returning Becky, that shows how much they trust her. Like,
did you see that last match that she called? Did you? Because unfortunately I can see her call it, but did you see her calling that last match with fucking Liv? How they were telling like how she was like, no, do this again, like hit me again, like blah blah blah. Like, she was like really making sure the story gets told. This motherfucker, man, go ahead, bro.
Y'all go ahead. Y'all go ahead.
One thing I'll say is that you know how W isn't screwing Bianca over is because she still works there, because they'll fire you. Like, they're not putting her on Rolling Loud to screw her over a month later. Like, that doesn't even make sense.
Come on, bro.
Like, that's like just let's breathe for a second. I know you have an emotional response. I did too. It was visceral. It felt anti-Black. Like, I see you. But you have to take a step back and be like, okay, like, this is actually scripted. This is a storyline that needs to play out. It's not done. This is one match. breathe, keep it moving.
And we
But
also know it was a last minute change too. And it's like for a last minute change at SummerSlam, you're not going to give us a Bianca Carmella match.
Yeah, hell fucking hell. We already had to watch. Never mind. I ain't gonna
We've seen that.
I'm not going to disrespect.
What the fuck is
nobody.
For the women? Like, because we saw a Charlotte, Rhea, Nick. We've seen combinations of that. So, like, for the women, as invested in the women as they are now, you're not going to give us a Bianca Carmella match. You're going to make it biggest. You're going to make it something people talk about, think about, and wait to see what happens on SmackDown later. Of course, you bring back Becky. Of course, Bianca loses. Unfortunately, of course, Bianca loses because she hasn't faced any adversity as the champion. That's what we like to see for the people we're invested in. We like to see them overcome adversity. She cooked Sasha. She cooked Bayley. She cooked Carmella. At this point, it's like, yo, put her with the big dogs. It's like when I predicted Drew Goldberg. Drew was running through everybody. It was like, yo, I want to see Drew versus Goldberg. They gave us Drew versus Goldberg. He overcame Goldberg. Obviously, Becky and Goldberg are two very different things, but they're big acts that people like to see, that they're invested in. Of course, you put Bianca versus Becky, and like you want to see a long-term feud between them. Like I think their first match, Becky's probably going to win on some underhanded shit, but like we're going to see two more after that, and it's going to be heat. Like I'm really excited for it.
And you just supported exactly what the fuck, because you see it too, my nigga. If she gonna win on some underhanded shit, then obviously what Bianca's gonna think to win the next one. This is what I'm saying. Like, it's right fucking WWE probably saw it. They was like, oh shit, wait, hold on. This Sasha shit is a gift, nigga. Hold on. Wait, like, let's make this work real quick.
And I got one thing to say, we can let it go after this, but I'm also very much so looking forward to the Fastlane main event. It will be Montez Ford and Bianca Belair versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Really looking forward to that because that's definitely happening. Put a pin in that.
I need that.
You put a pin in that.
I need that.
Grandpa Chan told you that.
And like,
for free. For free.
And we know Becky didn't fuck with the couple shit early on when she first became champion and Seth was champion, but I feel like now, if her and Seth are heels and Montez and Bianca are faces, come on.
Fire.
Come on. But for me, for my pre-write, I just want to talk about how my 2021 resolution came true. And that was for a John Morrison solo push. Miz is a hoe. Morrison better never trust that nigga again. But Miz turned on Morrison. They're going to have a match on Raw. And I think Miz might go over, but I think it's going to serve Morrison very, very well. I would love to see Morrison versus Ricochet. Morrison versus Ali, and then Morrison go to SmackDown. Morrison versus Shinsuke, Morrison versus Apollo, Morrison versus KO, Morrison versus Sami Zayn. Give John Morrison that Intercontinental title. Give him a 3-month feud with Shinsuke. Where Shinsuke is doing the crown shit, Boogs with his music shit, Morrison rapping, Johnny DripDrip. Come on. Like you got to give us a song battle at that point. Give us the Morrison Boogs versus. Give it to us.
A mid-card orgasm right now.
Give it to us. Give it to us. The streets need that. I love John Morrison. He has elevated his character, his promos, his in-ring is obviously just it's you can't debate it. Like, give us the John Morrison solo push that I think the streets need, because he's over, and that's undeniable. He is over. People fuck with that nigga. So that's what I need to see.
And they'll get it. And you'll get a nice TLC come December, nice ladder match.
Mm-hmm.
Morrison, Sensei, probably have, Frankie Monet debut, screw him so Johnny can win. That's his new valet. She's in the women's division. He's got the IC title. I see it. It's beautiful.
Wait,
I see it.
Have John and Finn gone at it before?
No. Give us that too. Give us that too. You remember, I think it was in 2008 when John Morrison was like cooking on SmackDown. They gave him that world title match against Jeff Hardy that CM Punk ended up interrupting. That we're gonna talk about Punk later, but like, give us, if Finn ends up winning the Universal title at some point, give us Balor versus Morrison for the Universal title. I'm with it. I'm all in.
I would like to see it.
Quan, what you think? What you think about Morrison?
Oh man.
Uh-oh.
I like Morrison. I do like Morrison in ring. I think he's a little too goofy for my liking. I don't like the whole drip stick shit. I don't like it. I think he's a fantastic worker, though. I like that little series he had with Ricochet shows he still can wrestle at a high level. Even he's been doing this for what, damn near 20 years at this point.
Most of my life.
For close to it, he's been wrestling. Hey, look, if they want to send him to SmackDown, they need to split him and Miz up. I don't want to see this go on for months. Let's have this match. Let's get Morrison drafted to SmackDown. But all those matchups you named, I'm cool with it. I'm down with it. I would love to see him versus Shinsuke, him versus Kevin Owens, him versus Sammy, whatever. That I'm cool with that. I don't know about Universal Championship. I don't think he's on that level up there. He's not fucking with Roman. He's not fucking with Brock. You know what I mean? He ain't on that level.
Especially if he goes to SmackDown. SmackDown is stacked.
That main event SmackDown right now is crazy. Like,
yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
that's my guy. I fuck with Morrison though. I do.
But hey, man, you can insert him for a one-off on SmackDown. You don't give him a pay-per-view match. Give him a SmackDown match. Someone can interrupt it and this kind of leads into my free write. And I want to talk about Finn Balor. Finn Balor came out during the Roman Reigns family celebration. The Usos SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Roman Universal Champion. Finn Balor came out, requested a Universal title match. Well, he didn't request. He was like, I'm getting it. Like, John Cena stole my shit. I'm getting it. We're still going to see Roman versus Finn on SmackDown. I think someone is going to interrupt it. We saw Brock Lesnar return at SummerSlam. Major. Super major. I think Brock is going to interrupt that match. And what I think for Finn is they're going to do their babyface booking where the babyface gets screwed and screwed and screwed and screwed, and they just get an edge and they finally win at a certain point. I don't know when Finn is going to win, but I think he's going to beat Roman for the Universal title at some point. If maybe it's WrestleMania, which will be fire. Maybe he brings the demon out.
You mean to say Demon King?
I don't know.
Now, if you say the Demon King's going to be there, you might have sold me on that match, boy.
Right. But I think Finn is going to get it at some point. But I guess, how do we see the Roman Heyman Brock thing playing out? Because Heyman looked conflicted. Heyman was not invited into Roman Reigns' locker room till Roman arrived. Like, he was like, yo, your family. Like, and that kind of made me think like, oh, Roman is like,
boy.
Yo, it looked like Roman was conflicted at SummerSlam. Then he comes back, he's like, Heyman, your family. It seems like he wants that allegiance. He's craving that allegiance. And I think that just makes a perfect opportunity for Heyman to turn on Roman. So how do y'all think that's going to play out?
With
Big Show, Brock 2.0. Heyman's fucking Roman over for sure. Like, I don't know if he's going to lose the match behind it, but he's fucking Roman over for sure. Like,
would
he might
turn would that turn Roman face? I mean, not in the end. Would it seem like
I think Roman's kind of at the point like Becky, where it's like, even if he has a face, he's still kind of like talking shit. Like, his face heeldom purely depends on whether or not he's like who he's actually wrestling that match. Like, his character is kind of consistent. Yeah, his character's
he's the Rock now. Yeah,
people play off him, and it's like, so I think I can see a few where it's like, oh, okay, maybe it's like a triple threat and Finn wins, but Heyman screwed Roman over, so him and Brock have a feud. He beats Brock, and then he goes on to face Finn, and like, maybe he's technically a baby face, but he's still like the tribal chief character and shit. Like, I feel like even his matches now, he's not even doing like the like, let me like fucking vice grip you till you pass out shit anymore. Like, he's more so just winning and just talking shit about it. He's not even doing like the heelish post stuff. So I think he can easily be spun.
Did he see him with a spear?
Speared him, yeah. Because Cena tried to do the spear himself and missed. I'm not missed, but got countered. Yeah. And it wasn't like no low down. Like, it was Superman punch, clean spear.
Straight up, clean, yeah.
Straight up, yeah. So I think I just think that Heyman has shown where his allegiances lie. And I think Heyman's better with Brock because Roman can talk. Roman having Heyman is like a garnish, whereas Brock needs Heyman to a certain point. Like, Brock needs Heyman to do the talking. We know that at this point. And so I think it just makes the most sense to have Heyman go back that way. And then you could have two major storylines, one with Brock and one with Roman, that are separate.
Okay. Word. To jump into NXT, what do we think dethroned Samoa Joe?
I made my point very clear. Walter, the ring general is going to be your next NXT champion. Yeah, I've been working on that one for a while. Yeah, I think Walter. I think
Has it been confirmed he's in the States? Is he in the States for good?
Last thing I heard, they asked him to come to the roster. I don't know if he's confirmed that he is. This is wishful thinking. I'm trying to manifest it.
He said he was open to it. Last I heard he was open to it, more so than he was maybe a year ago. He's like,
back talk.
Because honestly, keeping it stacked, nothing he can do in UK anymore. He's beat everybody.
Yeah, he's beat everybody.
He beat everybody.
Washed everybody.
Yeah,
literally everybody.
They could run. They could run him versus Dragunov 3. They can run that if they want to.
Save it for a big crowd. Save it for like WrestleMania.
I would save that probably. But yeah. Look, if anybody's beating Joe right now, damn, I'm thinking. I kind of want to say Pete Dunne. I feel like they have something planned for Pete Dunne. They gave him a whole stable. You know what I mean? He getting a lot of mic time, a lot of TV time. They've been teasing this match for a minute. I don't think Joe's holding that belt for very long. So I feel like whoever his next opponent is, that's who's taking it off rip. Because I mean, it seems like he's more gonna have more so a backstage role. He might be like the how like Triple H is on the main roster. He'll have a match every big kind of takeover, but other than that,
that's hard.
I don't see him working a lot. Like he's not gonna be working like TV.
Yeah. That's smart. That's really smart. I have a point I'd like to make.
Sure.
Completely unrelated to what we're talking about. This is something I've just been feeling deeply in my soul. I feel need to say it here in this safe space. I think Omos should win King of the Ring. I feel like the main roster is lacking since they let Braun and the Fiend go, and then Drew is like a baby face. They're really lacking like a monster heel figure to have like Babyface's face, like besides like Bobby, who like is again not a monster. He's like just whatever Bobby is.
Bro, he's like Kane.
Yeah, but they don't even have a Kane where they could just throw him in a match. So I think they need to build up Omos to be that. I think he lost a tag belt. That was a cool run. I think he's shown that he can work enough. He can talk enough. Or even if you want to still give him a manager or something, that's fine. But I think they should have him roll through the King of the Ring tournament, win that shit. He doesn't have to get a title shot right afterwards. You could have him just beat King Omos or whatever the fuck you want to call him. But I just think that's like, that needs to happen in the worst way. And I just feel that so strongly. I had to say it. I had to say it to someone.
This is the thing with Omos. The thing with Omos though is that like, I feel like he's almost too likable to be a heel. I feel like people want to cheer for Omos.
Yeah,
that's true.
People want to cheer for the dude. I think low key, I think he's gonna end up being a face sooner than later. Because like I don't want to boo this guy. He's funny. You know what I mean? He's kind of charming. He got a good look.
He changed
well. You know what I mean? He might end up being a face. I feel like AJ's gonna piss him off to the point where he just knocks that nigga out, and then that's kind of where he's on his own. And that's when we're gonna see if he can sink or swim.
Yeah.
But if he don't have AJ with him, it's just him solo. I mean, like you said, unless he finds some kind of manager or something, but we gonna see about almost. But I mean, I'm not mad at it. I don't want any more King gimmicks. No more King gimmicks. I hate King gimmicks. After Corbin, I'm done.
I think
no more King gimmicks, please.
I think it just shouldn't go as long as Corbin did. Corbin was King of the Ring for 2 years. Like it shouldn't go that long. Like when Sheamus did it, it was like a good 8 months to a year. William Regal, 8 months to a year, like shit like that. Like don't make it as long as Corbin's. They call Corbin King Corbin for 2 years, over 2 years. Like that's too much. That's too much.
Well, now he's happy Corbin, so
right.
Yo, it's literally that on the WWE website, and I love it. It's the greatest thing of all time.
I love Karen Corbin. But yeah, no, I mean, maybe don't call him King Omos. But I just think, again, they're just lacking some size, strangely. Like, not necessarily like physical size, like they have Drew and Bobby, like mass, but like they don't have anyone scary, like really on the main roster at all who's wrestling. Like there's no one who would show up like the Big Show used to show up and be like, oh, fuck, Mark Henry's here or something like that.
You know what I would like to see? If Omos does win King of the Ring, go to SmackDown, feud with Apollo Crews for King of like African King type shit. Like make that a whole thing.
Wakanda Forever promo. That movie drops.
If somebody throws up the X, I'm turning the TV off. I swear to God, I'll turn that shit right off. If I see a nigga throw the X up, nope, I'm out. Y'all lost me. Racial angle. That's when it's a racial angle, and that's when you lost
me. One thing I do want to throw out, one more thing before we get into our rewrite. Lashley defeated Goldberg by a technicality at SummerSlam. Gave his son a full Nelson. And now it's like, my thing was I wanted Goldberg to beat Lashley because I didn't think Lashley had anywhere else to go. I wanted to see Goldberg beat him because I'm tired of him as champion, but he's still champion. And we saw Damian Priest come out. We saw the whole Sheamus Drew thing, and that immediately made us think, oh, Fatal 4-Way. Where does Lashley go from here as WWE champion? He's had the women. He's got MVP. He's going to have MVP until Lord knows how long, until they break up. Who is Lashley's logical next opponent? Because I don't think they're going to do Damian Priest as U.S. champion facing Lashley for the title. They haven't done a champion versus champion type feud in quite some time. If they do Drew again, people are going to be like, oh, Drew. And Sheamus could be a good opponent, but it seems like Sheamus wants to get that U.S. title back. So, where does Lashley go from here?
Well, we know it can't be Drew if WB Creative is are men and women of their word. Drew don't get no more title shots, but
exactly.
this is also WWE, so they can find some kind of loophole. But
they be ignoring technicalities.
they be ignoring the shit out, not even technicalities, straight up rules. They're like, fuck it. But I think for at least for now, for Extreme Rules, it's going to be Sheamus. I think a lot of things we gotta think about when it comes to the main roster is that the draft is coming up. So I think they're kind of just biding time until the draft, at least on Raw. They're kind of just biding time until the draft where they know where the roster is going to be. Because at this point, he doesn't have any real threats to him on Raw outside of Drew. I don't think they're going to give him Damian Priest as early because Priest just won the belt. I don't think they want him. Someone has to lose in that kind of feud. And I don't think you want your brand new champion Priest losing. And Lashley just hasn't lost much of anything in the past, year and a half.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Sheamus can take the L. And the match is going to bang because this is probably, I think, in ring wise, one of Sheamus' best years ever. I think he's been fantastic all year. All hits, no misses. So, I mean, at least for now, for Extreme Rules, I can see it be Sheamus, just at least for this pay-per-view. After that, I don't know.
I think it's time for Bobby, at this point in his run, the opponent can't be purely another wrestler. I think it has to be the odds. I think this time it needs to be a multi-man match. I think he's had enough one-on-one matches where it's the threat needs to be now more so it's not just one person. It's the person, but also just this type of match. So whether it's a ladder match or a triple threat match, I think they need to add something where it's the sheer number of people. It's what's also partially scary. So you could have Sheamus in the match, but then have Ricochet in the match, have whoever the fuck you want in the match, and you could have Bobby even still go over. But I think he's had enough solo feuds where it's clearly he can't make just these emotional stories work. You need some other type of element to it. So have it purely be these people won this tournament, they're in the match, an elimination chamber style thing where it's just 3-man steel cage match. That's just what it is.
So here's listen, man. You guys got to stick with me on this one. Here's what I think. I agree. Sheamus at Extreme Rules, that happens. I think Bobby makes it to Elimination Chamber as champion, and that's when we see the rise of the great Maharaja. Jinder Mahal takes the WWE, takes it at Elimination Chamber. Because here's the thing about Jinder Mahal, you gotta remember it. One of the first things you gotta remember is that this is a big motherfucker, bro. He only played when he would take a clean pin in the ring or whatever as a mid carder or whatever. He was only playing that role or whatever. But when they have him where I can see where they're putting him, what it looks like to me is not really mid card. It's if it's mid card, it's very top of the mid card, and it's probably going to be more so lower tier championship kind of stuff or whatever. I feel like he weasels his way into Elimination Chamber because of how pissed off he is with someone else. Think about it. Drew is a contender for the championship still or whatever, right? But if there was to be a multi-man match, you're trying to sell a multi-man match, and you've got maybe feuds that you want to put into the match. Who is Drew feuding with right now? Jinder. You know what I mean? I think he's gonna stay in that mode where he's feuding with people who are on the championship level, and then when there's an opportunity to do that multi-man match, he gets put into it. And I've watched the way Jinder Mahal wrestles, especially now recently or whatever. he does sneaky shit so smartly or whatever, and a lot of times that I can just see him winning the championship that way. Like in an elimination chamber, I can see him like maybe making it seem like kind of playing to the fact. I'm sorry, playing to the idea that he might be eliminated already, at least according to the two guys who are left, or two or three guys who are left, or whatever. And then that's how he gets his win. Like he just comes in at the end and does some underhanded stuff like that. But yeah, I had the Galaxy brain this one, man. I was just like, listen, we got to go Jinder Mahal. It's got to happen at Elimination Chamber. He goes Sheamus first, and then Jinder Mahal takes it at Elimination Chamber, and I just want to see the chaos from there.
You really don't want me to watch Raw, huh? Because I promise you, if Jinder Mahal wins that belt, I'm not watching Raw ever again.
Well, they'll have additional fans in me because I'll be back. But no, I could see that. I could see even a scenario where like Jinder, or I guess it would be Jinder in this case, whoever convinces Drew that like, if you help me beat Bobby, I'll give you a shot. Because you can't face Bobby, but you can face me type shit. And I can see Jinder appealing to Drew in that way, being like, I'll give you the shot, just like help me beat him. And so I think I can see it.
I would love that. I think, yeah, that Galaxy brain is something that I think they would do. Like, because no one expected Jinder to get the reign he did.
This is why I say it, because I'm like, when it happened the first time, y'all motherfuckers didn't see it coming, and it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Why do you think it would happen any other way the next time?
Absolutely. To jump into our rewrite now, we didn't really touch on this too much. We're going to touch on more in the Patreon segment, but CM Punk returned to professional wrestling. Now we know he returned to commentary on professional wrestling on WWE Backstage, but he is officially signed to AEW. He's shown up on AEW now. To give you some background on Phil Brooks, aka CM Punk, he is a former ROH World Champion. He is a two-time WWE champion, a three-time World Heavyweight Champion, an Intercontinental Champion, an ECW Champion, a World Tag Team Champion, the fastest WWE Triple Crown Champion, a back-to-back Money in the Bank winner, a former 2011 Slammy Awards Superstar of the Year. He was voted Wrestler of the Year in 2011, 2012. As we know, he left in 2014 after being a bit disgruntled with the WWE. But, you know, I can say as a lifelong WWE fan, as someone who was emotionally invested in the WWE for a while, CM Punk was one of my favorite wrestlers for a while. And him leaving and his commentary on WWE after leaving and just everything towards that has kind of soured me on him. But 2006 to 2011 CM Punk to 2013 CM Punk really is just incredible work. So, like, regardless of how he's acting now, I'll never forget, you know, what he was to me and everything that he accomplished and everything that he brought to the brand and how he, I don't want to call him a game changer, but he might have changed the game a bit. Like, in terms, like, people call his era.
He definitely did.
He did. Like, if we talk about the reality era of WWE, where work shoots became more of a thing, and all these wrestlers are doing it now. We talk about complaining about part-time wrestlers. We talk about just bringing in these real-world elements to wrestling and making it tangible for everyone.
Not even that. I mean, not trying to cut you off, but like,
go ahead.
He was, think about it. He was the first like indie darling WWE hired in a long time. He was the first one before, you know, because at that point they were still, you know, hiring Luther Reigns and, you know, Snitsky.
Yeah.
They weren't signing guys like Punk. Punk was the first one. He made that much of an impact on the indies where the point like, we got to sign this dude.
Yeah.
He's next up. So he even changed the whole culture in WWE just off of who they signed.
Yeah. That's facts. Signed all his indie friends after he left. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. So we're gonna talk about him and him leaving and how we would rewrite that. But first, I want to get y'all thoughts on CM Punk. Now, Chan and Cece, I know there was a part of WWE where y'all kind of got disengaged and weren't watching us. Which were y'all there for the CM Punk rise and how hot
this
he was?
This was that time. Like, my nigga, I fell off around 06, 07, around that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get back. I didn't really start paying attention again until maybe 2015. And then like by 2017, I was regularly back on it.
Right.
So literally his time I missed, like his whole time.
Yeah,
But it was crazy though. I was on the internet though. I heard it. Like I was hearing it all the fucking time. I was like, yo, who is this nigga? I cannot stop hearing about this nigga.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be honest with you. CM Punk does nothing for me. Like it is just never.
Ooh.
I know he means a lot to y'all, but like it's just never. I just have never cared. Like it's just one of the things where maybe it's like just my own personal biases, but like the whole angle of like y'all don't respect me enough. It coming from a guy who looks like him it just has always fallen on deaf ears for me. It's just like, okay, guy, all right, CM, all right, guy. Like it's just a lot of grievance politics for me. It's just always something with you, bro. It's always something, dog. Like the moveset is cool, but even like the whole like indie more, it's just never. It's just I feel like what is Aleister Black not giving you that CM? Like what do you can you not get from Malachi Black at this point? You know, and so like. I just said he's just never done anything for me. And so like I know he's important to people and I understand he's like a good wrestler, objectively speaking. Like I'm not dogging him out, but like the emotional response people have to him one way or the other has just never landed with me. I just think in general, like one thing I found as I've gotten older is like I'm purely into wrestling for the entertainment. Like I don't the like political like aspect of it, not like politics like Democrat, but like the actual like sense of like identity and like culture like about wrestling and wrestling fandom, that kind of stuff doesn't wash over me. Like indie wrestling and stuff and like the hierarchy of like knowing the shit, like that doesn't mean anything to me. Like being a part-time wrestler doesn't offend me. Like it doesn't bother me. I have no issue with the John Cena come back for a match and then leaving. Like that kind of shit never moved me. But I think that's just the era of wrestling like I grew up watching was with these people who all went to become actors. Like The Rock's my favorite wrestler, so it doesn't bother me. So I just want to preface that going into it because it's gonna taint my rewrite. I just want you guys to know that. But it's just I'll let y'all go. I'm not gonna speak ill of him because I don't think anything negative. I just don't think anything. I mean, I just have no opinion of him. It's just like, yeah, I guess. Like it's cool. He's a cool finisher. I like go to sleep.
GTS is hard. It's hard.
Boy, that's cool. When he hits that right, that's hard. Like that's some hard shit.
His little knee combo to the bulldog in the corner. That shit hard.
And the way people react to him so viscerally, like I have to respect him. Like the way the pop comes when he gets, like I can never front on him. It's just that like it's more so I'm excited for
him. He had grown ass niggas crying. Then I went on the internet and I read stories about girlfriends talking about their boyfriends crying, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Shot nigga back, bro. But I get it though, because that's how I feel whenever Bray Wyatt comes back. That's how I feel. So I get it, and you guys hate Bray Wyatt, so it's like it's fine. You can have your thing, I have my thing. Everyone's got something.
Quan, you look like you got something to say, bro. Go for it. Go for it.
What about Punk?
Yeah.
Okay, so y'all ever had that phase in your life where like you like y'all are all hip hop heads, so like y'all ever had that phase in your life where like I don't really listen to like whatever they got on the radio right now, it's that bullshit. Only like that real shit.
SoundCloud shit.
Yeah, or like whatever. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear this fucking. Back when I was on the forums in like 2008, y'all here's that Lil Wayne bullshit. That new Q-Tip album just came out. I'm like, I guess.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
So that was me, except with wrestling. So.
I'm the opposite. That's funny.
So when I was like,
you're a hipster.
When I was
a wrestler, hipster.
Very much so. So like when I was in high school, I kind of discovered like wrestling forums, and then I discovered TNA, right? Because I didn't know there was like other wrestling outside. Like I started watching wrestling in like late 99, 2000. All I knew was there was WWF and WCW. And then WCW was like, by that point, WCW was already garbage. So I wasn't watching it. So I didn't know there was other wrestling. I didn't know indie wrestling existed until I was on the internet. And I found out about TNA. And then I found out about Ring of Honor. And then at that point, I heard about this dude, CM Punk. He had a fucking 90-minute Iron Man match with Chris Hero in IWA Mid-South. And like I think it was like 2003 or something like that. And so I started hearing about this guy. Now, mind you, back then, 90-minute match, I'm all about that. 2021, if I watch it, I would never in my fucking life watch that match. But at the time, I was such a geek in that point. So I was like completely out of WWF. Like I was solely watching indie wrestling. If you have any trivia about indie wrestling from that era, from like 2003 all the way to about 2007, I probably know it. But I think him getting signed on the ECW at the time really kind of got me back into WWE.
Right.
So it was kind of like, oh, Punk's over there. All right, well, Punk's over there. I'm over there. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I was
Yeah.
fucking with Punk, and at that point, it was just like, yeah, he was cool, man. I loved his run. I think he had a fantastic run.
He did.
Won a lot of championships. And then, you know, eventually everything that happened after the Royal Rumble, which we're gonna get into, but everything that happened after the Royal Rumble, and he left, and then he did the podcast with Colt Cabana, and then,
Mhm.
which, you know, like, I'm totally fine with being like hating on your ex-employer. You know what I mean? Get your shit off. I didn't even give Bronson Reed shit for like all the tweets he was doing. I'm like, you know what? You just lost your job. I get it. But the thing with Punk was, it just kept going
Yes.
Yeah.
for years. Like,
Yeah.
bro, like I'm
It's like
not
somebody
gonna
talking about their ex, bro. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
like,
we
let
get
that
it,
shit
bro.
go,
Like,
my
she
nigga.
broke
Like,
your heart. Let
yeah.
it
Yeah,
go.
bro. You gotta
Like, it's
move
been
on.
years, dog, and that kind of soured me on Punk.
But he's also like, but I don't care though. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, bro. Yeah, still talking
you
about it.
care. Like when he like spazzed out on the Miz over like some stupid little joke Miz made on what the hell that shit backstage, and like he had a whole like fit about like Saudi Arabia. I'm like, yo, relax, bro. Like it's not even that deep. So with all that being said, after that whole long drawn out thing, it's just like all in all, I watched, you know, obviously I watched AEW for, you know, the War Report. And for the first time, it looks like he's happy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In a
he
long
does
time.
look
He
happy.
looked like he was ecstatic in that ring. I'm like, I'm so happy he finally found peace. I was like, I know he made a little comment about WWE in the first promo. Hopefully, I don't hear that shit
God.
ever again. I don't want to hear about it no more.
Please.
You're Punk, you're in AEW now.
You got
Do
a
your
new
thing.
girl now, bro.
Yeah,
you got a new
bro.
girl.
So
Be happy with her. Like,
So hopefully going forward, I don't have to deal with all that, you know.
Yeah.
That was my only complaint about Punk. Really, I never had a problem with him in the ring. I thought he was cool.
Yeah.
There was a time in WWE where I still kind of fell out of it because I was just like 18 and I was outside trying to like have sex with girls or whatever. But like, so I wasn't watching in like 2008, like especially not Friday Night SmackDown when he was on SmackDown, whatever year he was on. I wasn't watching that shit.
2008 SmackDown was lit.
I know it was, but I was
It was
outside.
lit.
I was outside. I didn't care about
skating ring, nigga.
Yeah, I was outside,
Yeah,
bro. I was 18. I just got a car. Come on, I just graduated high school.
That's
Dog,
right.
I wasn't home on a Friday night. Y'all bugging.
Oh, walk around the mall type shit, you know?
I mean?
Let out.
I feel you. So, with all of this considered, we know in 2014, Punk was supposed to face Triple H at WrestleMania. And he walked out prior to that. Now, I want to talk about what would have happened if he didn't walk out. How you build to that Triple H feud. Now, this is after, you got to think about it. This is a year after he faced Undertaker at WrestleMania. He feuded with The Shield. He had his long 434-day run as WWE champion, which was ended by The Rock. Like, he's got a lot of things that he's kind of angry about, for lack of a better word. So going into a Triple H feud, after he faced Triple H in 2011, like right after he got cashed in on by Alberto Del Rio, he faced Triple H and he lost to him. So how would you guys have built toward that Triple H feud? And beyond that, after that feud ended, who would have won that feud? And what would you do with CM Punk after the fact?
All right, let me go first because mine's gonna be short and sweet. Let him be himself. That's how you build to him and Triple H. He really hated them niggas, so let him really hate them niggas on TV, so the fans could be like, you know what, they fucking my nigga over, and then that's how you get like kind of how we have with Becky now or whatever, where it's just like we wanted her to win for so long that we don't care if she do fuck shit. Like with Punk or whatever, like, you know, he could actually complain about real shit, and he'd be like, you can look this up, this is real or whatever, and he could like pull out shit that you could actually look up, and it could be probably like he could keep doing the work shoots and shit like that, right? So you can have him doing that or whatever, and then Triple H is basically just saying like, you know, like you're like what you're doing is not great for business, blah blah blah. And now you have like your business versus like, you know, kind of like the rebel storyline, and then boom, you got that. And then from now on after that, CM Punk beats Triple H at WrestleMania or whatever. From now on after that, you got CM Punk the rebel or whatever, and he has that character always. It doesn't matter what you like. He can feud with anybody, blah 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 blah. Like you can cement him right there. That's the way I see it going. I can only go to the moon because that's all I can see for him.
Right.
I don't know enough.
Would you have him win a world title again?
Yeah, but I wouldn't have him do that until like probably Royal Rumble. I let him go past SummerSlam too. I'd have him just get into because between WrestleMania and SummerSlam, I don't think there's like really good reason or good time to like really build a real feud out of nowhere for like a championship or whatever. I think that has to come over time. And I think it helps, right? Because if you have him going up against like what are like would be like, the official like WWE or whatever, think about it. If he doesn't get a championship for a long time, he's like, look, and think about it. I just beat Triple H, one of the greatest of all times at WrestleMania, and I still haven't gotten a championship. And the crowd's gonna be like, damn, man, you right, dog. What the fuck, blah, blah. And then boom, that's how you build him for Royal Rumble. Like, yeah. So that's just the way I saw it going.
Jan, you look like you got galaxy brain working. Talk to us.
I can never ask. So I think with most feuds later on in people's career, you got to go personal. I think kind of at this point he was like feuding with the Shield, but he had this kind of conspiracy theory that the Authority was like still fucking with him, still orchestrating this attack. And so I think what you do, in the way CM Punk loves to do with his whole work shoot thing, is you have him basically like strike out and be like, y'all are trying to like basically like screw me over, so I'm gonna screw y'all over. And so basically he needs to start attacking the Authority. So he starts going after like Stephanie, going after their kids, going after Linda, just getting to it. So at that point, Triple H is like, you know what, you pipsqueak, I beat you once, I do it again. I see a WrestleMania, Triple H come down, God entrance, with the gold things on him. Bike type shit. He's in the ring. CM Punk goes to the ring, super loud pop. The match goes on for about 10 minutes. CM Punk is poised to hit the go to sleep. And then he hears the most dangerous 4 words in wrestling. Do you guys know what that is?
What's that?
And in case you guys are wondering, this really did happen 2 years down the road in a different context. So this is precedent, but 4 words, here comes the money. Shane O'Mac entrance drops. CM Punk is stunned. What could it be? Shane O'Mac. Shane comes out. CM Punk is looking at him. Shane said, you thought you could take out the McMahon. You thought you'd come from my family. Duh, 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 duh. He got the jersey on. Distracted. Turn around. Kick to the stomach. Pedigree. 1, 2, 3. Triple H wins. CM Punk irate. He goes backstage, catches Vince and Grill like, I need your son now. I need a match right now. And so Shane's like, let's do it. Fuck it. Like me and you, like, let's go. We go right now in the middle of fucking WrestleMania. Let's make it happen. Unsanctioned match. CM Punk, Shane O'Mac, brawling it out. The set, I believe, had like some like one of those like hats on top of it.
It was New Orleans, WrestleMania.
New Orleans, the little hats, the one of the little hats. Shane jumping off that shit. Crashing into this fucking set, misses CM Punk. CM Punk wins. Crowd's going dummy. Everyone's losing their mind. He walks to the crowd. Vince comes out to check on him. And he's like, hey, yo, Vince, by the way, I fucking quit. Drops the mic, walks out of WrestleMania mid-show. Legend shit. God shit. I took your son out and I quit mid-show. Who's ever quit during middle of WrestleMania? Who's done that?
I think JBL did. So that's a big deal.
Fair.
That's a big deal. No, CM Punk doing it is bigger. It's bigger.
It would be hard. And it would be like on some real shit, like I'm really pissed at you type shit. Like more than them blowing the kiss at John Cena, like I took your son out and I'm quitting right in the middle of shit and walking out in the crowd. And that's the end of CM Punk. Because I don't think there's any way for it to stretch him on. Because like the issues he had reasonably in the feuds he's already had, there's really nowhere to go with it. Like you can't really like give him another title run to appease him because then you're just like bending the will of the company to CM Punk, which is just like not going to happen. And so I feel like what you need to do is you need to just make the ending, which would end up being much more of a fizzle, as like a huge, like a bang, a catastrophe, like something that's like insane. And I don't think Vince is in a position to have a reasonable match against CM Punk. Like that just doesn't work. So I think having Shane come in as like the predecessor, because like I said, he comes in 2 years later and has the Undertaker storyline, which is truly, you're talking about raw creative not remembering some shit. He's supposed to not be like on TV at all. He was on TV like the next week. And so like I think you get rid of that feud and have that feud instead be the CM Punk kind of quick comeback match. Bang it out. I love that.
I love that. Quan, how would you rewrite CM Punk's 2014 if he did not leave?
All right. So there's so many variables that go into this because at the same time that Punk is looking like he's on the outs. We got another young man by Brian Danielson, aka Daniel Bryan, who's on the up and ups. And he's also kind of in a feud with the Authority. And at that point, they were kind of teaming up. And so it's so weird because like the way it was looking, either Punk was gonna have Triple H, like you said, or he could have Kane at WrestleMania. Because it seemed like it was more so Kane getting involved with Punk. He the one who threw him in. Was it him and Big Show threw Punk out at the Rumble?
Yep.
So I mean, this is the problem. I feel like they still could have did Kane, Punk versus Kane. I think the match would have been fine. I don't think that's what Punk would have wanted though. But
no way.
That's what I'm saying. So like, I guess they could have still went with Triple H in the long run. I think that Punk should win because I think regardless of who Triple H was facing that year, I think the Authority was so powerful that I feel like Triple H needed to lose. Whoever he wrestled that night, he needed to lose that just so he wasn't too OP.
Mm-hmm.
The problem.
When does that ever stop Triple H?
I know.
When has that logic ever broken through? Me? Too OP? Never.
I know. But like at that point, but also the other thing is like, I don't know if Punk was going to take time off after that. It seemed like he wanted to, but he wasn't sure. He was like, what will Harley Race do? Like, he ain't no bitch.
He don't want to give Vince the satisfaction too, also being like, yeah, let me step back for a while. He's like,
he didn't want to lose that spot.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking if he were to leave, I guess Triple H could go over and then, eventually he comes back, how long it took, hopefully like ideally like SummerSlam time. And then they can run it back around that time. And, then around Rumble time, maybe even have him win the Rumble. I don't know what they do in that in between from
Shawn Michaels would have to get involved somehow if Triple H is in a feud that long. Somehow Shawn Michaels has to get involved. That's contractually obligated. Him or Ric Flair. One of the two have to get involved in it.
Or at that point, you throw in Seth because at that point Seth was already Money in the Bank. So now you got Punk Seth. They've already had history from all the Shield matches they had previous because like the last. Like I'm looking at Cage match right now. The last couple of matches Punk had was against the Shield. So we get there. So now
3-on-1.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. So now you got Seth Punk for the fall if we want to do that while he has Money in the Bank. So Seth, it's okay for Seth to take it because WWE loves having briefcase holders lose matches for some reason anyway.
Yeah.
So you run that and then come Rumble time if they want to go that route, they can go Punk wins the Rumble. And or they go Brian, whatever, but one of those two. Who ended up winning next year after that? Who was
2015 was Roman.
Oh shit.
Because then the next one is Triple H.
Hashtag make Roman look strong. You feel me?
Damn. Could you imagine?
That's the thing. He's done too much. You can't give him off. He's like pissed everybody off. Like he's burnt off the bridges at that point.
Punk never won a Rumble though, so that's the only thing. Like he never won a Rumble. That's the only thing his WWE resume was missing was a Rumble win and a U.S. title run.
I'll say what was so the 24/7 championship is nothing to you. That's what you're saying to me.
It wasn't there at that point, brothers.
It's here now though. He was on backstage. He could have got it or whatever that Fox show was.
He could have. He could have. Backstage.
Yeah.
Nah, I feel that. I think for me, the most logical thing would be to have him go over Triple H in that feud, make it very personal. Like I like the inclusion of Stephanie. I think you bring Shane in earlier than actual WrestleMania. You bring Shane in, you have CM Punk hit him with a GTS. Like CM Punk is just like, yo, fuck all y'all have held me back. Y'all, like I'm glad y'all are putting Brian at this point, but even with Brian, you're making him earn his time to get into a world title match. Like fuck you, Triple H. Like fight me. He beats Triple H. I definitely like the whole Rollins feud, especially with Rollins' Money in the Bank winner. Like after Rollins wins Money in the Bank, you have Punk as the only back-to-back Money in the Bank winner. You have him target Rollins, and you try to get him to win it from Rollins in like a ladder match or something. And then
that'd be cool.
Then you have Triple H screw him, and then you give CM Punk a world title match against Brian because I would like to see the Brian and Punk feud running back again with Punk where he was at and Brian where he was at, assuming Brian doesn't get injured. Like I think that would be a really good feud. It would kind of give me like Brian Cena feels where they're both just at the peak of their talents. They're both superstars that people like, and they're just going at it, and they lack respect for each other. But yeah, and I think you have Punk lose though. Ultimately, you have Bryan go over him. Like I wouldn't want Bryan to have a long run and then eventually get cashed in on by Rollins at some point. Not at WrestleMania, probably prior to that. But yeah, I think you have Punk beat Triple H, feud with the Shield a little more, feud with the Rollins, lose to Bryan. I think in 2015, with KO coming up, instead of having him go up to Cena and beat him, you have KO come up and beat CM Punk with the NXT title. And then you have CM Punk be like, yo, fuck this main roster shit. I'm about to go to NXT and conquer this shit. If they didn't want me to conquer the main roster, I'm about to go to NXT and win the NXT title. So you have CM Punk and KO feud for a while over the NXT title. And then you look at NXT at that time, you got Finn Balor, you got Samoa Joe, you got all those guys that were down there. I think if CM Punk goes down and kind of like acts like that older mentor type guy, but it's like, nah, I'm here for myself, he could end up elevating a lot of talent. And then you could have those talents come up to Raw and have one-on-one matches with CM Punk as well. So for me, like, I don't necessarily have an endpoint as to where CM Punk's time would go, but I think integrating him into NXT would help a lot of NXT guys elevate their promos, just elevate their in-ring, and it would make the shit a lot more interesting because CM Punk, you know, whether people hate him or not, he was a draw. He drew a lot of attention. And I think a CM Punk KO matchup, whether it's and aside, like leading into that, whether it's like one of those debate type things they had or a face off, something like that. Like I think that mic work would just be absolutely incredible. So yeah, I would like to see CM Punk get integrated into NXT in some way. So that's kind of what my rear will be founded on, is him helping usher in the next generation of stars, even though he was super selfish and wanted shit for himself. Like if he could put over guys as well, I think that would be fire. So yeah.
You know what I think will be interesting with CM Punk, now that you mentioned that? Like I wish there was someone, because it would be Roman, but it wouldn't have worked for Roman at that point. There was someone who CM Punk talked shit about who could have reasonably stepped to him and been like, no, you talking all this shit about me, come face me. Like you talking, because Roman now could do that. Like that, if, you know, those stars aligned somehow, they got the money right to have that feud. And Roman was like, no, you was talking all this shit about me. And now where I'm at, like, come see me, bro. Like you come see me. Like I wish there was someone, because that'd be the best blow off for CM Punk, is that like someone, one of Vince's guys who's not absolutely hated like Roman was, stepped to Punk and was like, no, like you're this purist. Like, well, then come face me. You talking all this shit. Let's see it. And then he ends up beating him on some like, is this your king, you know, Killmonger type shit. And like goes heel on the crowd. Like, I think that would be the best blow off, but there's really no one who actually fits that bill besides like we said, Seth and Roman. Yeah.
No, 100%. 100%. I would love to see a Roman CM Punk feud at this point.
Crazy.
Like, because we saw with Cena and Roman, like there was work shoot stuff, there was shoot stuff. Like Cena was lying, bringing up the whole Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins. Cena was lying, but it still was like, oh, this is fire. Like the shit he was bringing up. Punk, whether you agree with his grievances or not, Punk has a lot of shit he could say about Roman, but Roman has a lot of shit he could say about Punk. So that feud would be incredible.
But you gotta remember, this is 2015 Roman. He wasn't.
No,
he wasn't built for that yet. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Then Roman wouldn't have worked.
I'm saying now.
Today Roman.
Today Roman. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Now, Roman would have some fire for that boy.
To be honest, Roman would have got cooked in 2015. If
destroyed.
You saw what he did to Rock. You saw what Punk did to Rock.
Yeah.
He didn't want that smoke.
It would have been ugly. It would have been ugly. But now
you know
at
what?
this point,
I want to pin in this too. Are we sure CM Punk is still wrestling? Are we sure?
Is he still what?
Can he still wrestle? Are we sure?
He can, like, I'm sure he could put on
a
match.
See.
He got
like Darby Allin, and Darby Allin can work, so I'm not worried about that match. But like, he's talking like, I want to be a full-time wrestler. It's like, are you sure you can still do that? Like, as after that UFC fight, I'm like, bro, I don't know. Like,
I'm sure he can wrestle, but he's gonna look like how Samoa Joe did at Takeover. That boy going
tired,
gassed,
tired.
He might not make it through the entrance without being gassed out. It's going to. I hope Darby bumps his ass off, which I'm sure he will, especially for this match.
Yeah. more of a sting. Like you have to.
Yeah, you got to bump his ass off. It might even be some gimmicks here and there. Some who knows what going on. 3.0 tries to interfere or some shit, and then Sting gets involved. It's gonna be a lot of that. I feel like personally, just because the dude hasn't wrestled in what 7 years.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm worried about.
That's a long time to not.
Because even like when Edge's first
he
match, it was stiff. Like you could just tell Edge was just rusty, and that was when
And that was after, I was just going to say, that was after Edge had been working for, what was it, like a year in that ring that he had made for himself. So I'm like, how long has CM Punk been working like secretly in the ring? Because he was
working on that TV show, Heel. Shout out to TV. Shout out to Pat. But like,
shout out to Stars.
But like, that's all he was. I don't think, I'm pretty sure on his media scrum, he was like, I haven't wrestled. Like, I haven't. So he said it's like riding, he said it's like riding a bike, which I mean, look, man. We'll see. I'm not.
If it's really like riding a bike for him, I'm really gonna go back and like start watching right from his era. Like I need to go see it because I'm like, all right, then I gotta respect my nigga. It's
one of those things too where it's like you can still be a great wrestler, but you just can't wrestle the same exact way you used to wrestle. And I don't know if he'll know that having not wrestled in like so long. It's like it's one thing if you gradually age with your wrestling and say, yeah, I'm not fucking. Brock doesn't do moonsaults anymore. Like he fucked up that one time. Was like I'm. Good. Like that's done.
He should be dead.
That should be dead today. That's done. But it's like because he was able to do that and grow from it. Whereas CM Punk, he hasn't done these spots in years. So it's like it'll be interesting to see what spots he tries to do, what stuff he holds off on. Like I'm interested to see, although I don't pay for AEW pay-per-views out of principle. I'm interested to see how that plays out.
To be fair, by that point, 2015 Punk, it was pretty low risk moveset he had going on. It wasn't he wasn't doing too much, not anything too wild. He wasn't doing like a Pepsi plunge or anything like that. Like it was pretty very WWE safe.
Yeah,
especially because he was wrestling hurt for such a long time.
Right.
Whatever the hell he had going on, I feel like he should be okay. Like I said, this is more so about Darby, who we know will kill himself in the ring, like almost literally kill himself in the ring. So I'm sure the match will be fun. Do I think it'll be some classic? No. It might be classic like off the entrance. You know what I mean? It might be one of those kind of matches where like it's the entrance and like all the theatrics around it that made it amazing. Like Rock Hogan or some shit like that. But outside of that, it'll be fine.
Yeah.